What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Smoke Meteoras, the podcast where we go beyond the championships, beyond the characters, and uncover the moments behind the people. Today, I am joined by none other than Danny Darko. How are you doing today, Danny?
Hey, I'm good. I'm a bit hot, but other than that, I'm living.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's quite hot over here too. We get a little bit of a heat wave going everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's probably way hotter there, but we haven't got we haven't got aircon, so it's hot everywhere.
All right, so let's dive right on in. Let's go back to the very beginning, before wrestling was even a thought in your mind. What kind of kid was Danny Darko growing up?
I was a quiet kid, very, very quiet. Like I had friends, but I didn't have like a huge group of friends. I'd much rather be at home playing video games than I would be like running around playing soccer or football or whatever. So.
Absolutely. So, what first sparked your interest about professional wrestling?
I would have been very young. I remember being a child, and we used to rent videotapes. That's how old I am, and we'd rent the same videotape every week for like months on end. Like probably way before your time, but it was the one where Macho Man got bit by the snake, and like when I seen that, I was obsessed.
I mean, not much before my time, but a little bit.
Yeah.
So you started training at a young age, but looking back, what do you think that version of yourself expected out of that journey?
I don't know really. I know there was points in time where I thought I was gonna I never thought WWF or WWE was an opportunity, but I definitely thought at one point in time I was going to go to Japan. I didn't think deathmatch was the one, but things change.
So, what do you think is something that you misunderstood about wrestling before you ever got into a ring?
Oh, I thought you were told what to do way more than it is. I thought like you got there, they told you exactly what they wanted, who you were going to be that day, and then I realized most people don't really care that much. They just tell you to go out there and do it.
And was there someone early in your career who made you feel like you belonged in the business?
Yeah, there were several people. Like from when I first started training, I could tell that there was differences between myself and some of the other trainees. Like I was picking up certain things far faster, and people noticed it. I believe maybe that's my ego talking, but those people they're not gone, but we're not super friendly anymore.
And if your younger self could see where you are today, what do you think would surprise him the most about how far you've come?
Probably the scars. Yeah, I didn't expect. I always told myself when I was young that I'd do light tubes at some point in time, but I always thought it'd be like a big finish to a match, not like every single match for months on end.
So, at one point, you had stepped away from wrestling for quite an extended period of time, but what had led to that decision?
Okay, so I was like 21 years old, and I was wrestling like every other weekend. And one day, this other guy, a friend of mine, came up to me and asked me if I even liked anybody there, because he was thinking about being done. And it just occurred to me that really most of the people I was seeing every other weekend, like I didn't like talking to them. They didn't make me feel good about myself. Like I didn't feel like I was progressing, and real life just took over. So that was the beginning of my nearly 7 year absence.
So during that time away, did you ever truly believe that you would step foot back into a wrestling ring again?
No, not at all. I was completely done, absolutely done. I seen so even way back then, one of my best friends was Big Effin' Joe, and he would like every now and then he'd message me asking me about coming back and like asking me what I was up to, and it just never occurred to me. I can't remember what show it was. I think it would have been a Royal Rumble one time, and I just sitting there at 3:00 in the morning because that's when it airs here, and I was just like, I'm gonna give it one more try. I'm gonna give it one more go, and then I just never stopped again.
So what did life teach you while you weren't in the business? Like what kind of lessons were you learning when you had taken the time away?
I learned that real life is boring. 99% of people on this planet have no drive, no direction. They like just surviving, and I always wanted to be a 1%. So I live a life that only 1% of people live, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, what was the moment that made you realize, like, all right, I think it's time for me to come back?
It's going to sound like I'm an egomaniac, and I am. You ask anybody who knows me, I've got a huge ego. But I was watching one of the WWE events, and there were a lot of new people there, and I was just thinking, this just isn't very good. Like they're like, you could tell they're athletic and they're being trained properly. It's just like they were doing things, and it messed with my head, thinking this would have been better, that would have been better. I'm like, I could do better than this. Turns out I can't. Well, not in that genre. But at the time when I'd been drinking and it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I was 26, 27 years old, I was like, I'm going to do it again.
All right. So, how was the version of Danny Darko that returned different than the one who left?
The most obvious thing, like people wouldn't know this, but when I left, I was very skinny, very very skinny. Being 6 foot tall and skinny isn't a good look. But so I put on a lot of size. I'm a lot bigger now than when I was when I first came back, and just more mature. I understood making things like taking my time with stuff, like selling to the not selling. What's the word? Like just making things mean something rather than just keep going full speed.
And looking back now, do you believe that stepping away was something that you needed for your career at this point?
That's a difficult question. I've asked about that many. I thought about it many times. Like I wonder if I'd been much further now if I hadn't stepped away. But also, like I would have probably spent years and hated it even more than I did at the time. So I'd have probably just stepped away like a couple of years later and then never came back.
Absolutely. So, you've competed in both traditional wrestling. My camera is not liking me today. You've competed in both traditional wrestling, hardcore wrestling, or even deathmatch wrestling, but what do both styles have in common that fans might not realize?
No, it's like wrestling in general, all wrestling, and this includes like the modern AEW style. Like it's all boils down to crowd interaction. If you can interact with the crowd, then they will love you no matter how or what you do.
So, a hardcore or deathmatch wrestling often gets like negative reviews or often just gets misunderstood in general. But what do you wish people would understand about it more?
It's just wrestling at the end of the day. Like I'm sure if you went back in time to like, even like the early '80s or the mid '80s, and people started doing horror Quranas, the old timers there hated it. And I know it's not the exact same difference, but wrestling is wrestling is wrestling.
So, is pain ever the point of the match, or is it simply just another way to tell a story?
From my perspective, it's just another way to tell a story. Like nobody wants to get hurt. Like some things hurt more than you would imagine. Some things hurt way less than you would think. It all hurts, obviously, but you know what? If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I've taken like a light tube before, and I was like expecting it to hurt so much worse than it did. And I was like amping myself up for it because I was scared. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, just do it. And my friend did it, and I hadn't even realized that he had done it. And I was like, wait, did you do it already? And he was like, yeah, here's the broken light tube. I was like, I didn't even feel it. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, again, like I don't know if you're aware, but the tubes we use in this country, like way slimmer.
Oh, yeah.
And like all the Americans who come over, they bitch and moan about them. They are not happy with them. And then quite a lot of our tubes end up sitting in like metal containers over the winter. So sometimes when you get them, they're not frozen, but they're like been sitting in zero, whatever, I don't know, 32 degrees, whatever it is. So when they're colder, they're a lot harder. So I've been hit with some tubes and it feels like being hit with a bat. But then I've been hit with some tubes and you don't even notice it.
So, what is one match that changed the way you looked at professional wrestling?
One of my matches or a match in general?
One of your matches.
That's a difficult question. I don't know. I've never really thought about it that deeply before. Like I might have to skip that one, pass.
Not a problem. And so, outside of wrestling, because the wrestling world, everybody knows, can get a little hectic at times, but what helps you stay grounded?
I used to play a lot of video games, but because I had to move like a year ago, and I like left all my stuff behind. So I haven't really played video games for a while, but like I play a lot of older PC games, and like every now and then I look after my dog, who I have with my ex. So walking the dog, too hot to do it right now, but stuff like that, basic stuff. And going to the gym, I 9 times out of 10 I still hate going to the gym, but once you're there, it's very relaxing.
So, what is one part of your journey that you think doesn't get talked about enough?
Oh, I was going to say legit wrestling, just the non-hardcore, non-deathmatch wrestling, like just the stuff I do every other weekend when I'm not bleeding. So the other week I wrestled Richard Holiday. I've wrestled him twice. I've wrestled people like Gene Money from England, like a lot of people who are popular in the indie scene, like worldwide, and just no one ever seems to mention it.
Absolutely. And I mean, Richard Holiday is just a great wrestler all around, and coincidentally, he is from my area, so it's a great name to have picked.
Well, he's probably the biggest name in indie wrestling right now. So
okay, all right.
Oh, I
thinking about it, like, and being from this area, like, I would see that it could potentially be different people, but from a different, like, from an outside perspective, it's different to hear that.
Yeah.
No, go right ahead.
Matt Cardona and Cody Rhodes said it. So.
All right, that makes sense.
And I would have said it myself beforehand. Like, he's one of the people that I see a lot of, and it's like doesn't really make sense why he's not in the big leagues yet. I'm sure it's coming.
Agree.
I'm sure
there's a handful of guys over here that I've been saying that about. Like, ever since the WWE ID program became a thing, there were so many guys that I was highly surprised didn't get ID'd in the first batch, and now that they're starting to ID more people, I'm like, okay, cool. When is this guy gonna get ID'd? When's that guy gonna get ID'd?
Yeah, I think with Holiday in general, like a lot of the ID guys were, like, no offense to them, but they were some of the smaller guys.
You're not wrong, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to like the heavyweights specifically, because Holiday's way bigger than you would imagine if you ever met him.
Oh, yes.
They're waiting for them to be ready, so they don't have to get them ready, if you make sense. All the guys in the ID are ready. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, but the heavyweights, they don't want to put them on TV and not kill people for a year,
Yeah, I mean, if even then, like, looking at a lot of the guys they've been bringing up, unless they were like the big football athletes that they were bringing in through like their sports, whatever, I can't think of the right terminology, but through their sports program that they were bringing in, like, the biggest guys that they have in NXT right now are, of course, now I'm blanking. Like Shiloh Hill, but even Shiloh's not even that big. Or Will Cruz. Duh.
Yeah. Well, Will Cruz is a big guy, but
yeah.
He's an exception to the rule, I would say.
And then like Jasper Troy, he's another big guy that they've pulled in. But otherwise, it's all smaller guys.
Well, I will have to admit, I haven't watched like mainstream wrestling in a long time. Obviously, I know what they call him. Is it Mason Rook?
Yeah, it's Mason Rook. I still call him Will Cruz. I don't care. I saw him in the Indies as Will Cruz. That's how I know him. If I saw you on the Indies as one name and then your name changes, I'm sorry. Your indie name is your name.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. Everyone I know still calls him Will. But yeah.
Or like if whatever you introduce yourself to me as, that's your name. Sorry. All right. So, what is something that took you years to earn on the wrestling scene?
Bookings. Bookings. I spent a long time in the same small area. And I suppose it wasn't as long as, like, some people never leave their hometowns. But to me, it felt like I was always just one or two promotions forever. And then suddenly, like, it started spiraling out of control. And then now I wrestle all over the country, which not a lot of people can say. And then, obviously, multiple American dates, and I've just started getting Canadian dates. Still no Europe, though. I'd love to do Europe, but they just don't seem to be coming.
Well, I hope you do more American dates, because I have yet to see any of your matches in person, which is quite disappointing, because ever since I dove into the deathmatch scene, that was when I discovered you, and I was like, yeah, I need this Danny guy over in the States real quick.
Yeah, I think they were, like, all bar one have all been on the East Coast. So, but the thing is like even like when you have to buy a flight to America, the East Coast is so much cheaper. The West Coast isn't too bad, but if you're in the middle, like I know Texas, I'm in Texas in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And flying to Texas is like almost twice as expensive as Philadelphia.
Well, all right, then I'll put a little birdie in Danny's ear because I'm East Coast. So, Danny, we need this Danny in Boston.
Always wanted to go to Boston.
Yeah, no, and it sucks because all of my favorite deathmatch wrestlers are not in the same country.
Well,
like you and Big Joe, love Big Joe.
Yeah.
And then like I love Vic Craig. All of you guys.
Yeah.
Wrong country.
Yeah, New Zealand
Yeah.
guy, yeah.
Wrong
yeah,
country.
I know.
Jun Kasai, he's another one that's up there for me. But
well, we're at this moment in time, deathmatch wrestling is probably the biggest it's ever been. Like worldwide.
Definitely.
It might have been hotter a couple of years ago, like in America, but worldwide, there's like a scene. There's a little bit of scene popping up in Canada now. Obviously, Mexico has always been Mexico. Japan's always been Japan. But like, so Australia was big 2 or 3 years ago, and they're coming back hard. New Zealand's got a scene. There's a scene in Poland, which is like mind blowing. I've heard of it being done in Ukraine.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the last serious question. When people hear the name Danny Darko years from now, what do you hope that they remember?
Just now, it's pretty good. Like, I don't need to be the most badass, the most dangerous man in the ring. Not even the greatest that ever lived. Sorry. Drinking beers. No, you just let people remember me as being a decent wrestler, not just a dickhead with an ego.
All right. So I always like to throw some fun, unhinged, random-ass questions in at the end here. And I didn't want to take up too much of your time with this being kind of last minute. So let's dive right on into those. And if you had to swap lives with one fictional character for a week, who are you choosing and what is the first thing you are doing?
I'm trying to, like, this is just, well, it won't sound odd, but I'm a massive Star Trek fan. Always have been since I was a kid. I was going to say Picard, but no, it'll be William Riker. And people could probably guess what I do if they know Star Trek.
I'm like, I've heard of Star Trek. I know a handful of the actors in Star Trek, but me, in my mind, I'd be like, cool, you're flying a spaceship. Like, that's the first thing that comes to my head.
Well, like, it's very, like, there's a saying that Star Trek is Shakespeare, Star Wars isn't. I'm a big Star Wars fan as well, but ever since I was a tiny child, I love Star Trek. It's a lot deeper than people think it is. So, like, if I was William T. Riker from Star Trek Next Generation, there's a million things I could be doing.
All right. So every time you walk into a room, a song automatically starts playing. What song do you hope it is?
It'll probably be the theme from Rocky. It definitely wouldn't be Tub Thumping. I've had enough of that already.
All right. You are stuck in an escape room with 3 other wrestlers. Who are you taking with you because you actually want to escape?
I don't know. I've never done an escape room. It sounds terrible. Probably Mickey Knuckles, because she's one of my best friends. She's smarter than you would think as well, way smarter.
Oh, we love Mickey.
Yeah, she's outside of the wrestling world, she's very, very clever. Probably Big F and Joe, because again, he's my other best friend. And then Raven, because he has a genius level intellect.
Oh. All right. You are now booked for a show over here in the States, but something goes wrong with your music app and you're only allowed to listen to 5 bands or artists along the way. Who are you listening to?
I don't really listen to music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, if people who know me will, like, they'll back that up. Like, unless I'm, like, if I'm in a bar or something, yeah, I'll play with the jukebox. But when I'm at home, I don't put music on. If I'm in the car, whatever's on the radio, I don't have CDs, really. I don't listen to anything, really.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, there's only one other person that I met that has been like that, and I have yet to have a conversation with them since about their music taste, so I wonder if it's changed.
There's music I like, I'm never inclined to put it on.
Okay. All right, the last one. You get to make one ridiculous rule that the entire world has to follow for 24 hours. What is your new rule?
I don't know. Pay tax. It's not ridiculous, but I hate people who don't pay tax. No, I don't mean under the table either. Obviously, I mean like billionaires and stuff. That can piss me off.
All right. Well, that is everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for taking out some time in your day to join us on here, Danny. And with that being said, I know I said I was taking the break, but I couldn't resist it. I had a couple extra days. So we will be back again tomorrow at noon with none other than Drew Gulak. So we will catch you guys tomorrow at noon with Drew. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you again to Danny for joining us. And if you have any upcoming shows this weekend or this month at all, please feel free to let us know where you're going to be at. And otherwise, if you're not in our area, where can we keep up with you on social media?
Okay, first and foremost, next Friday, Saturday, 10th of July, 11th of July, I'm in Texas, Houston, Texas, for No Man's Land. Big deathmatch tournament, massive names. It's going to be a hell of a show. You should definitely try and make it out. The week after, when I'm back in England, like a lot of people probably won't be able to, obviously, because it's England, but CXW has got Nick Gage coming over. It's going to be a huge show. And then it's not announced yet, but the week after, I'm in Vancouver, Canada. So once that's announced, you'll see it announced. If you can do me a solid, like you're probably already doing it right now, but follow me on Instagram, /Danny Darko UK, and check out deathmatchoutlaws.com.
All right. Well, that is everything that we got for you guys today. We, again, will be back tomorrow at noon with Drew Gulak. And thank you to everybody at home for tuning in. We'll catch you all tomorrow.